Artificial intelligence involves using machines that are programmed to think like humans to formulate decisions. Machine learning is therefore a subset of artificial intelligence that claims that machines are able to learn how to formulate certain decisions without human interaction by learning from data that they may already have. As algorithms are defined, they are a set of steps used to solve a problem. When companies are creating algorithms to solve problems, more recently, they have turned to using artificial intelligence techniques to help refine them. By using these techniques, they are able to use these algorithms on large amounts of data and on problems that the computers may not have even seen before. Algorithms in artificial intelligence and machine learning are infiltrating more areas of daily life for everyone. With improvements in technology, companies are using algorithms and AI to complete tasks more efficiently and seemingly with better accuracy. Unfortunately, this is not always the case due to biased algorithms. Biased algorithms can cause problems for both the users and the companies who are creating them, since they are so far reaching and used in so many industries, including healthcare, security, academia, and the judicial system, among many others. The information they come up with can actually be very wrong. Discussing these biases and addressing them is important to ensuring that different groups of people are not negatively affected by these algorithms. Since these algorithms can easily be biased based off of many factors, including the data used or the process behind the algorithm, it's important to acknowledge and discuss ways to counteract these issues.
Now we'll be talking about some real-world examples of AI biases that pose ethical problems. In 2016, Google created an AI algorithm to detect and monitor hate speech on social media platforms. After being trained on a database of over 100,000 tweets, the algorithm could evaluate new posts and determine how toxic they were. However, a study found that this algorithm was twice as likely to flag content posted by African Americans on social media than content posted by people of other races. The study found that these tweets that were written in African American vernacular English were often flagged by Google's algorithm as offensive, leading the algorithm to be biased towards African Americans. Additionally, AI biases have been found in code related to the judicial system, particularly in a tool called Compass, developed by a company called Equivent. This tool was used by state court systems all over the United States. The purpose of this algorithm was to predict the likelihood of a defendant in becoming a recidivist. Compass turned out to have twice as many false positives when predicting if African American offenders would reoffend versus white offenders. As shown in this picture, Black offenders who did not have subsequent offenses were deemed as being medium risk, as opposed to white offenders who did have subsequent offenses. Amazon also utilizes AI in their algorithms. However, their AI algorithm used to hire employees was found to be biased against women. This is because of the data used to train the algorithm, since in the past, most of the applicants to Amazon were men.
AI is also widely utilized in healthcare systems with the intent to provide more objective and efficient care for patients. AI can help clinicians read patient scans more accurately and search through electronic health records more efficiently. So its use in the industry is rapidly increasing. However, bias is being built into these technologies due to biases in data that are unaccounted for. For example, United Health Group's Optum division used biased data to develop AI technology used to identify vulnerable people in need of care management. The algorithm predicted severity of illness using past spending data that did not account for racial inequities in which Black patients were historically underserved, despite having the same level of need as their white counterparts. A study on this biased algorithm found that it could underestimate the number of Black patients in need of care by half. Addressing the biases and modifying the algorithm accordingly could increase the percentage of Black patients receiving additional help from 17.7% to 46.5%. Many AI solutions in healthcare are also invading privacy by storing consumer health data with no legal safeguards in place. For instance, in 2016, Facebook created a suicide detection algorithm to promote suicide awareness and prevention. This system used AI to gather data from posts to predict users' mental states to assess suicide risk. Despite the positive use case for this AI algorithm, Facebook is storing users' health data without their consent. And they could use this data to sell advertising or sell the data to others without the user knowing. And this brings up many ethical concerns as users do not know what is being done with their data and have no option to decline consent.
Our first recommendation for combating AI bias is to increase the sample space. Historically, there have been more white men used in the sampling and development of algorithms, which reflects the way some algorithms are unable to be useful for minorities. So there should be a good sense of the population and a properly representative sample set for the machine learning model training. Our second recommendation is to create an algorithmic ethics board, which will monitor algorithms and ensure that they're fair before the algorithm is implemented. There should be some stricter legal rules for ethical AI, and this nonpartisan, nonprofit third-party group should monitor them. Our third recommendation is to test algorithm performance using pre-existing data. A lot of algorithms are built in controlled environments, which means they can come up with results that are correct and work in the controlled environment, but not in the real world. So to combat this, algorithm performance should be tested using data that already exists and real world statistics. Our fourth recommendation is to prioritize efficiency and neutrality the same. The strength of AI is currently determined by its efficiency, how accurate it is, and how quick the process is. And while that's definitely extremely important, there needs to be a shift on the company level towards making neutrality just as important. When a company is selecting between different models, they need to look at both. Our last recommendation is constant testing. There's always going to be a gap between a controlled environment and the real world, which means that real world application can reveal biases that might have been missed even with a larger sample set. So with all of these solutions, it's important to constantly be testing, monitoring, and adapting the algorithm.